So this is the final video for part 3. This is where I left you. A couple of changes have happened since then. The first is that I have moved these parts of these little arms of the mind map further apart because I was struggling to fit stuff in and also finding it a little bit cramped. I've also been working on part 4. And the second thing is that even in this part 3 I've made 2 changes. The first is under growth. I've added this little arm about drivers because obviously we want to know what is going to be causing, or how do we generate this growth over time, and we know that output is in fact a function of capital and labor and technology. So we can also represent output according to a production function, and growth is then obviously the outward shift of this production function. This is more macroeconomics. Looks similar to what we've seen before, except this is an economy-wide scale. We'll talk more about it when we look at the supply side of the economy. And also under unemployment, what I hadn't done was actually add a graph of what it looks like. So we discussed what it was, but in our labor market, if we have a full employment wage, then we have unemployment. If we are away from the full employment wage and we have people who want to work but cannot work, so for example if we have a minimum wage influencing this market, then what happens is there's a decrease in the quantity of labor demanded and an increase in the quantity of labor supplied if this minimum wage is above the equilibrium level, and we represent unemployment by this distance. Again, we will look a little bit more at the labor market when we look at the supply side of the economy. Remember, first of all, we're just talking about, in part 4, we're talking about the demand side, so we haven't got there yet. So to finish off section or part 3, 2 previous exam questions. The first one says, which of the following statements is or are correct? The real wage rate is the amount of money earned by working for an hour. Secondly, cyclical unemployment occurs during a recession and is the difference between the actual unemployment rate and the natural unemployment rate. Third, frictional unemployment depends partly on the rate at which jobs are created and destroyed. Fourth, a structurally unemployed worker may need to relocate to find work. And finally, price indices indicate what has happened to the value of money. So there's quite a lot going on in that question. See if you can answer it having watched this video. And finally, when the inflation rate is lower than people have anticipated, then do fixed income earners get negatively affected? Are debtors positively affected? Are flexible income receivers more affected than any other group? Are creditors negatively affected? Are savers positively affected? So have fun with those questions, and I'll see you back for part 4, the demand side. Cheers.